Thanksgiving may be over this year, but it's not too late to bypass bot detection and get more turkey. In this example that we're running right now, we're going into Stop and Shop and doing some web scraping. And as you can see from the beginning, there was a CAPTCHA that tried to detect if you were running a bot and stop you, but we bypassed that using SeleniumBase. So let's run that one more time so that you can see what's going on. We're going into stopandshop.com. It's verifying the device. Once it thinks you're not a bot anymore, it lets you in, and then SeleniumBase takes over and then starts web scraping data from that website where we're getting results on fresh turkey and then printing that output to the console. So you can see here lots of results for fresh turkey from Stop and Shop. So you can see here various different items and their prices. So all that is an example of web scraping, Stop and Shop. If you want to see what the code for that looks like, we're going to dive right in. So you might be familiar with SeleniumBase, in which case you'll notice the from SeleniumBase import SB line for this particular SeleniumBase format. And then we're going to activate stealth mode, so that's use equals true. And then we're also going to activate the more advanced stealth mode on top of it, which is CDP mode. So you can see here sb.activate CDP mode. And you'll notice that there are other args that we've added in besides use equals true, such as test equals true, which adds in the runtime, as you can see right here in this line here. And there are a few other things that are being added, such as add block equals true. In case there's some additional advertising being added in, we can block that out. So once we've activated CDP mode and we've waited a few seconds to see if we're bypassed the CAPTCHA automatically, then you'll see that we're going to wait for the brand logo link, which is essentially the Stop and Shop logo that appears if you actually made it to the real Stop and Shop page. And then if it's not there, we're going to refresh the page and wait a little bit more and make sure that we're on the right page. Now we're going to set up our query, which is fresh turkey. And then the required text here is going to be what we're going to check for in the search results in case Stop and Shop tries to throw in something that we didn't want. And then the search box is going to have the CSS selector for the search box on the Stop and Shop site. So we're going to wait for that element to appear, and then we're going to type the query into the text box and then click the search button to search for it. And then we're going to print some additional text right here. And then we're going to find all the elements that basically match div.productTitleContent. And then we're going to loop through all the items. And if it's not out of stock, we're going to print that out to the console. And we're also going to flash some JavaScript onto that item so you can see it. And then we're going to basically make sure that we don't already have that item listed so that we're not printing out duplicates, and then print it out. So let's run that one more time so you can see that in action. So Python raw stopandshop.py. And this is an example you'll find from the SeleniumBase examples CDP mode folder. Going in, we bypass the CAPTCHA. We're doing some web scraping. Stop and Shop is just one of many different websites that have bot protection on them or CAPTCHAs. Now you might be familiar with other types of bot detection out there, such as Cloudflare's Turnstile. So if we just go web scrape a different page, you can see what that looks like. So we do Python raw gitlab.py. You'll see that on this page, it's a different type of CAPTCHA. It was the Cloudflare Turnstile CAPTCHA in this different example that we're showing. So there's lots of various different types of CAPTCHAs now, and others are getting more popular. What we saw with the Stop and Shop one was a unique type of CAPTCHA that's different from the Cloudflare one. It verifies the device. Once it's verified that everything's good, it lets you in, and then the web scraping just happens quite naturally, and you can get all the data that you want. So here we go. Going into the website, grabs all that data. This was the full script for that. So if you're interested in getting more turkey, because as you know, Thanksgiving is over here in America. So people still want to get more turkey because, turkey is good, tastes good, and all that. So here's an example that just lets you search for more turkey, and then you can make a decision to get which one you want. And if you want to know more about SeleniumBase, you can go to the SeleniumBase page on GitHub. This was the example we were running, which was the raw stopandshop.py. You can see the full script is here. So you can basically clone the repo and do your own search. here's what the main SeleniumBase GitHub page looks like. Here we are, SeleniumBase. You can see it is a packed repo with a lot of different features. And one of the more popular features, as people may know by now, is the stealth mode, which would be the CDP mode. Lots of different instructions and tutorials for how to use that so you can web scrape any website, even if they're using bot detection and other advanced stealth abilities on it to try to detect your bot and other things. So that is SeleniumBase. And what you saw earlier was getting turkey. So yes, if you like turkey, Stop and Shop is a good example that you can run. Although note that if you're not coming from a US-based IP address, then it's possible that they're going to block you because Stop and Shop is unique to the US, so they might try to block everyone else coming into their website that isn't from the US. But I'm not really sure. I haven't tried that yet. But in case you get blocked, there are other examples of getting food from shopping sites. So for instance, there's an Albertsons example. I think they're outside the US. You can just do Python raw albertsons.py from that same folder that the Stop and Shop example is in. We're going to go to Albertsons and it's going to do a search. So let's see. This time we're going to search for avocado smoked salmon, another great recipe or great thing to eat. And once we've gotten all the results, it's going to go through. You can see all these avocado smoked salmon results right there. And now as it loops through all these items, it's going to display all those items to the console. And as you can see here, lots of different avocado smoked salmon items from the Albertsons website. And above that was the earlier example that we ran where we were web scraping fresh turkey items from Stop and Shop. Well, that concludes today's tutorial. Hope you have a great time automating, and I'll see you all next time.